So, a few months back I made a vehicle warehouse guide and well, I'm not going to lie, it kinda sucked and I missed out a few things, I'm gonna be honest. So in this video we're going to go over, in my opinion, one of the best solo businesses. Now before you comment and say, oh well, no, it's the Kyber Heist. Well yes, you're right, but this guide is for the people who want to make some money when they first start out. So I'm going to go over how you can make some quick easy cash using the vehicle warehouse. I'll be pointing out certain points in the video where players with certain useful vehicles will help you make more money, but with all that said, let's jump in. Now, the downside of a vehicle warehouse is, just like the cargo warehouse, you need to own a secure serve office in order to purchase the warehouse itself. To do this, head on over to the Dynasty Executive and pick up an office. Now listen up, the downside of this is that they're pretty overpriced, but unlike other businesses, the location of your office doesn't matter. So just like I mentioned in the cargo warehouse guide, just go with the cheapest one, Mazebank West. There are some cosmetic upgrades to choose from. Everything here is useless, only one I'd recommend buying is the accommodation. This is going to allow you to spawn at your office, making stuff a lot easier and quicker for you, but as I said, if you're tight on money, just skip all of them. Now once at your office, you're going to head on over to your computer, and once here you're going to see vehicle cargo. Click on this and you're going to see a lot of options. Luckily for us, the cheapest one is the La Mesa warehouse for 1.5 million. A good thing about the cheapest warehouse is that it's a pretty decent location as well. Now before we get into the nitty gritty stats and stuff like that, you're going to want to know the general concept of this business. So basically, you're going to go out, steal a luxury vehicle, deliver it back, and then customize it and sell it. Now let's jump in on what you have to do. To get started, you're going to need to source a vehicle. Now to do this, you actually have to head back to your office, and as you see here on your computer on the vehicle option, you're going to want to source a vehicle. Now as I mentioned at the start, I said I was going to point out options for the players with certain useful vehicles. Now the more advanced version is calling your terabyte, if you obviously have one, and then once inside, access the touchscreen and source a vehicle from the vehicle option. This will save you a lot of time instead of travelling back and forth to your office. Once you've sourced a vehicle, you're going to be put into a steal mission. Now there is 32 different vehicle options to spawn, but they are broke up into 3 categories. We have standard range, mid range and top range. Top range is obviously going to get you the most money, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. Besides that, your job is to steal this vehicle while taking as little damage as possible. Now here it is. Every time your vehicle takes a little bit of damage, that's going to add up to your repair costs. This means you will have to pay the repair costs with your own money, so when stealing the vehicle, do be careful of this. Now once you have delivered your vehicle back to your warehouse, you're going to want to actually start up another source mission, whether that's going back to your office or calling your terabyte. Keep in mind that you will have to wait a couple of minutes before sourcing another vehicle again. Okay, now selling. Like I said before, these vehicles are broken up into 3 categories. We have top range, mid range and standard range. But how much are each going to earn you? So for standard range, you're going to get 30k, for mid-range you're going to get 50k, and for top range you're going to get 80k. So obviously you can't argue top range is the best, and we want to get as many top range as we can, but how are we going to do that? Well, you'd think these vehicles are picked at random, right? Well no, there is actually a way to rig the system and sort of trick the game into only giving you top range vehicles. Like I mentioned before, there are a total of 32 vehicles at spawn. 10 of those are standard, 10 of those are mid, and 12 of those are top range. Now the cool thing about the vehicle warehouse is that it will never give you duplicates of the same vehicle until you have all 32 in your warehouse. You can actually use this trick to your advantage to make a lot of more money. The way you do this is by never selling your standard range and mid-range vehicles. You're just going to leave them in your warehouse. Now if you have all 10 standard and all 10 mid-range in your warehouse, and remember you can't get duplicates of the same vehicle until all 32 are in the warehouse. So yes, when you're going to source, you're only going to get top range, and that's how it's done. You're just going to keep all 10 standard and mid in your warehouse, then source a top range vehicle, then sell, then source one, and then sell. You can rinse and repeat this process, and that's why I said this is one of the best solo businesses, because every handful of minutes or so you're going to be making around 80k, so that's why it is one of the best. Once you're ready to sell your vehicle, head on over to your warehouse this time and click on the vehicle you want to sell. Now as you see here, there are 3 options of buyers. For private you're going to make 40k, then for showroom you're going to make 70k, but you have to spend 10k on customizations. And then we have specialist dealer with 100k, but you're going to have to pay 20k for customizations. So with maths, that's 100k to sell it and 20k to modify it. So that's an 80k profit. So obviously always go with the specialist dealer. Now you're going to have to do all the basic customizations, paint job, remove tracker, that sort of stuff. Now once you're happy with your customizations, you're going to be put into a sell mission. These missions are basically the same as the source missions, except instead of delivering to your warehouse, you're going to deliver it to a buyer. Same as source missions, there is a simple way to sell and an extra advanced way to sell. For the easy way, you're just going to want to deliver it to the buyer, taking as little damage as possible, because yes, like the source missions, every damage made, that comes out of your payment. Keep in mind, players will see you on the map, so just be aware of that when selling. Now, the advanced way, the totally best way to sell, and well, even source if you want to, is using the cargo bob. Yes, I know it's expensive, but it's very worth it, because what's the best way to not take damage and get the best payment needed? It's flying above everything. Get your cargo bob, fly to the buyer, and easy. Now another thing I want to touch on is being able to sell groups of vehicles. Now there is a way you do this, and basically some buyer out of random will get a selected group of vehicles that they want you to steal. If you get all of them, there will be a total of 4 to 5 to so on to sell in a group. Now bear in mind, you have to obviously have enough players to sell them, otherwise you won't be able to sell them. And the way this works is you just basically have 4 vehicles and everyone sells them. It's literally that easy. But keep in mind, if you're doing this in a full lobby, don't forget you do not make an extra bonus per lobby, so I definitely recommend getting into a solo session or putting on Ghost Organization, because there will be 4 flashing vehicles on the map and that is very risky. Anyway, after that, keep sourcing vehicles, selling, and then just rinse and repeat. By no time you'll be making easy money, enough to buy better properties like the submarine, etc., to make even more money. That's it for this video. I hope it helped. If it did, please consider subscribing and make sure you hit that like button for more videos like this, and have an awesome day, and I'll see everyone later.